Hello. Good Tuesday afternoon. Uh, we welcome you to Power to the People. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you that have tuned in early, Johnny on the spot, I'm grateful for you. And we'll give a little time for those who would be coming just a little later. Give them time to come on in. But we want to give you a few announcements, if you will, while we're waiting, because I haven't been able to get to the announcements. Some of these settings have been so good that we just hadn't been able to get around to getting some important announcements. And of course, I'm beating the drum for us to get out to vote every week, 2 or 3 times a week until the registration all the way up through November, I should say, because as of this week, last week, the courts passed in South Carolina that we'll be able to um, vote with absentee just out of concern of the coronavirus. So after October the 5th, that we'll be able to actually take our ballots to go ahead and order those ballots now. So you want to order those ballots starting now. You can go online to, um, let's see, info.southscvotes.sc.gov. And if you call, we can make special arrangements, especially if you're elderly or you just can't get out. Now, I would say you're using a device now to actually listen to us and see us. And maybe you're listening by phone and you don't want to do a whole lot on the phone. We have paper registration, and we have a couple of people that are certified to issue you your registration. And so they'll be able to go out and get those registrations for you. Hello, Brother Bridges. Good to see you today. And Mother George, greetings to you all. Thank you so much for being with us. And Miss Brooks, thank you for being with us on today. Today we have a life coach with us and going to help us try to get through this life experience with the pandemic. All right. And before we do that, I got one more quick announcement, and we'll jump right on in there. And that is the census is also due by October the 5th, I believe it is. So you want to go ahead and do our census2020.gov. And that will help with getting funding into our neighborhoods. Also, hopefully some programs for our youth. But they have to see the population. They have to see the need. There's no other information that would get out to any authorities that you may be concerned with. You want somebody to know, don't want anybody to know about your household. That information does not get out. It's under a law and policy where none of that information can be shared with anyone, not even law enforcement, not even your landlords. So please, let's do that. Census2020.gov, and we'll be able to get some funding into our neighborhoods. That's critical. Get roads paved, and just some different programs. Miss McLean, good to see you. Thank you for being with us today. All right, we're going to bring up our guest. My wife, of course, is at home in our home office. I think she's doing most of the production, but look like she probably don't know where I am right now doing the production. So I'm going to try to turn it over to her so I won't be as distracted. Sweetheart, you can take my name badge off. I appreciate it. All right, we have with us Miss Latasha, Miss Morgan, and you see all those letters behind her name. So we got nothing but the best for you today as a life coach. Latasha is from Greenwood, South Carolina, and I really appreciate the opportunity here lately that I've had to be able to minister to my hometown, or be able to plant some seeds there, and also my hometown being able to help me out as well as we help out the nation. And so, Miss Morgan, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, further than what your name is there.
Okay, born and raised in McCoy. I live now in Greenwood.
Okay, so you were raised in McCormick.
As you can see, I have fewer letters behind my name. So I have a Master of Divinity and Professional Ministry, a Master. Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
was, and I live in Greenwood.
okay,
So I have a divinity in professional ministries, a master of audio counseling. I am a certified Christian life coach and a certified professional life coach. I'm currently seeking a certification to be a certified mental health coach as well. I was saved at the age of 5. I grew up in a Christian home. My daddy was a minister. So that's me.
okay. All right. Well, we won't prolong the fact that we want to get in here and help so that you can help us mentally and emotionally as we go through this pandemic. And if you would, as we ask a few questions, and those of you that are listening, please feel free to ask some questions as we learn of her technique and the things that she's able to do. But I want Ms. Morgan, if you could, most of our questions would be surrounded around some of the effects of the pandemic that we are experiencing for us
Mhm.
psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. I know I need your help.
Mhm.
So, and for our audience, for some reason there is a small delay. Yeah, I should have had could correct that earlier, perhaps, but there's a small delay um, that we have together. All right. So, our first question are the terms mental health and mental illness, are they interchangeable?
No, they're not. Mental is physical. Everybody has it. Mental illness refers to a breakdown in the way you think, you behave, and how you feel. Also, how you handle different situations and circumstances.
Okay, bring us back a little bit with that again. Now, mental health, everyone has that condition, either it's healthy or
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy. What makes it unhealthy? Let's go with the bad first. What makes it unhealthy?
Okay. So mental health is the same as physical health. Everybody has that because you already have your well-being. Everything is intact. Mental illness then refers to some sort of disconnect. Maybe you have had some sort of trauma, been in a dark place, or experienced certain situations that may influence your way of thinking, your way of feeling, and your way of behaving. So what you think produces your behavior. So with mental illness, there's that there.
Okay, so I want to understand mental health a little bit more. If so, mental health, what can make that? And I may have missed it in the delay, but what can make that
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy? What can have cause you to have a unhealthy mental illness? I mean, mental health. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. To be mentally unhealthy means, like I said, there's a disconnect in how you think, feel, or behave. So perhaps you had some sort of trauma, experienced some sort of grief, been through some kind of dark situation, or even just the way you may have been treated in some time of your life. So
Okay.
that's how your mental health becomes unhealthy. That's how you have mental illness when you experience different traumas.
Okay. All right. So, how can we have good mental health? What are the measures for us having good mental health? How can we balance out our day with that?
So you can do that by actually changing the way you think about certain things. Maybe changing. You can also mental health includes what you eat, what you drink. If you drink enough water, get enough sleep, that also increases your mental health. Now, if you have experienced something and you're not healthy mentally, then you need to seek some sort of with a counselor, a therapist, in that matter, something of that like that.
Okay, so let me say this. Let me ask you this. So if I'm black, I'm African American, it's okay for me to go to a life coach or a psychiatrist
Mhm.
on a regular basis, and that doesn't mean that something is wrong with me. Well, I'm searching after the taboo there. I'm chasing after.
No, no,
Okay, okay.
I
So why?
understand. Yeah, you can go to anyone. I didn't hear that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Why do you think that taboo is there of our mental health? Well, am I correct in saying in stating that in our culture that there's a taboo about going to a
Hmm.
psychiatrist or going to a life coach? Is there a bad stigma? I don't want to put words in nobody's mouth. So,
It there it, there is a bad stigma on mental seeking a counselor or life coach. People sometimes think that if you go there, that means you're crazy or there's something wrong with you. And then media also has a way of showing us the same thing. Every time you see somebody commit some sort of heinous act, they say, well, they were mentally unstable.
mhm.
Well, in actuality, necessarily true. Normally, if you um, commit some kind of heinous crime, maybe you did have some sort of mental illness, but that has to be combined with some sort of substance abuse. So you um, people's like then you may have a schizophrenic. It has to be combined with some sort of substance abuse in order for them to actually behave in that manner to harm somebody. Because most 9 times out of 10, people with mental issues are more harm to themselves than they are to other people. So that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong or that there should be a stigma on mental health. Um, I think that most Black people believe they don't really trust the medical field, and they feel as if that means they're weak, especially men. And Black people are
Especially
raised
me.
to be strong and to be able to handle everything.
Hmm.
Hmm?
That's true. That's true. That's
They
true.
have they have been told. Yeah, and then the other thing is that make people, Black people, not want to go to therapy or have a life coach. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do, and we don't have enough Black people in those fields. So
Okay.
those are some of the reasons.
Okay. I had a good question, man. I forgot it just that quick, but we'll move. Oh, yeah. Okay. In this pandemic, how can this pandemic
Hmm.
of health issues and also the political climate, also with the racial reform, with all those three things going on, causing unemployment, causing distress on every level,
Hmm.
worrying about our children, whether or not our sons or daughters, but maybe the next one killed in a car stop or whatever, uh, a traffic stop, I should say. How? how can we keep a healthy um, mental, our minds mentally health? What are some of the things we could do in this
You
time?
can monitor how many times you watch the stuff on television.
Okay.
Yeah, you can monitor how many times how much of the stuff you watch and how much of that you listen to. Maybe kind of tone down the number of times you may look at the news and look at this sort of information, like and you can find other ways to put that stress that you're feeling, put that stress into something else. Maybe you can go, if you feel like you're stressed, go maybe walking, go do something that will make your mind be at ease. So
Okay.
those are some things you can try. Try having a good support group around you, people that talk to about more than just the politics and the things that are going on. And that'll keep you, because if you're constantly looking at it and constantly hearing about it, that will cause you to be mentally unstable, depressed. You can be, and you just feel like things don't matter. Like some people may say that our vote might not count. It doesn't matter because of what's going on. The way and that's simply the way we feel. So
Mhm.
if you're feeling like that, just like I said, just tone it down a little bit. Start looking at something else that's gonna become. And I, as a Christian, so I would say that put something else in you that's
Okay.
going to balance that. So if
Okay.
you
Okay. Well, that's helped for me. I kind of know these things, but at the same time, of course, my wife
mhm,
consistently reminds me. Um, but the burden of feeling as a leader in the community or within in the states where people look for my voice, I always feel like I got to hear what's the
mhm.
current news and what's the current climate, what's the current next thing, so I could be on top of it. So you saying it's okay for me to not be on top of it sometimes? I can call you. You can get on it for me.
Just scale it back.
Okay.
You always find somebody else to actually help you out. Have a
Mhm.
team that do all that. You can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
And see, if
Right.
you being pastor and a leader, that's one of the main. Those are some of the main people that stress out a lot because they try to do everything and then they burn out. So you don't have to be on top of everything. You can have somebody designated to look at that, somebody designated to look at something else. So then they could bring it to you and then you're caught up, right?
Right. Okay. Gotcha. All righty. Yeah, you're gonna end up
You
charging
can't
me
do
after that.
everything.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our second. All right. What is the difference between a life coach, a counselor, and a therapist?
Now, okay, a life coach, who I am. I build on what you learn from counseling. So a counselor may unpack different pains and hurts in your life and show you how to deal with them by giving you different tools to go along in life with them.
Mhm.
A counselor has two licenses. Now, there are pastoral counselors that are in the church. Of course, they're not required to have a license, but you cannot, of course, practice outside the church. And pastoral counselors may be lay people within the church, ministers, pastors. So, therapists are pretty much interchangeable with a counselor, except, of course, a um, therapist
Uh-oh.
is also like, and they work with they can perform psychotherapy and they help you with psychological problems. And
Okay.
we stay in your dark place. We don't stay in your past. We look at it, we take a visit there, but we move forward into helping you move forward to progress in life. making life changes, things that would transform your life. But we also work along
Okay.
with your
And
therapist.
can you
We
give me
can
a
be a part of the team that you have.
all right? Can you give me an example of that as a life coach? Can you give me an example uh, that you probably have coached someone through?
Okay, learning your purpose in life. And that's what I do, like transformational coach, transformational style, excuse me. So what I do is I bring clarity to you. So what are you able to do? Who are you? What's your name? What does, because in your name your purpose is written there. So if you, like in scripture, Moses means to draw out. That's exactly what he did. He was drawn out of Egypt into Midian, back into Egypt, and he drew out the Israelites. So I try to make sure that when I first start with a client, we know what your name means. Okay. So then we break those things down and go as opposed to what God has positioned you to do. And I do all three names, your first, your middle, and your last, because it tells you a story about your, because a lot of people go around in life and they say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. God, can you tell me what it is? When he exactly is just saying to you, I already did when you just named it. So then I take that and I take that along with you. I do spiritual gift test. And you take a test, about 100 questions, and you learn what your spiritual gift is. So it's important to know those things. And I also do the personality test, the DIS test. So you know you're dominant, you're steady and safe, you're conscientious, and you're an influencer. So what you like, how you feel, the way, reason you act the way you do, and why you do the things you do. So I do that first. Then I try to make sure you know, once you know all of those things, you have confidence in the fact that you're capable of doing whatever God has called you to do. So then we go through that and we work to, so if your spiritual gift is teaching, then we know that we found out what things we need to work on that spiritual gift. So if I have my gift is teaching, encouragement, and giving. So I know that if I have a CDD personality, I'm dumb and conscientious, which is kind of abnormal to have both private and in public. So I'm if I know that, that means I know that I need to work on my gift. I need to know that if I'm going to be teaching someone, then I need to scale down what I'm teaching, because teachers are normally going to go so deep that they may give too much information. So I made sure that my clients train their gift. And also, and then we go see, are you in the right place in your life? If you're in the right job, if you're in the right position in church. That's one thing so I've also helped people start a business. So you know what you want to do, but you just don't know how to get there. So we go through steps and we make goals, make sure that you're where you need to be and you get to where you want to go in life.
Okay. So those goals are so important so that you won't be scattered mentally, scattered all over the place, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess more focused, um, goal minded will keep a lot of confusion, a lot of distractions out of your way. Is that correct? And that,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Right.
And
And you'll
all
get to
right.
where God has purposed you to be.
Right. Good. Good. So so if a church wanted you to come in and do what is it called, a purpose assessment, or would it be called a spiritual gift assessment? If you were to take some a church was to call you to have members to come in and you would administer, would it be a purpose assessment or a spiritual gift assessment?
Well, I think it will be both, because it's your spiritual gift is attached to your purpose. So because it works both in the natural and the spirit realm. So it will be both.
Okay.
But I think that everyone would take the test and we'll know what their gifts are. Because if you know that, you know who is supposed to be doing where they're supposed to be in the church. Just you have an army, you have different sections in the army. You know who's going to be a general, you know who's going to be a private, you know who's got the trucks, you know who's going to shoot the guns. So if in
Right.
church, then you have all that set out, will be a great army.
Okay. Um,
And then,
Go ahead. All right. Now on a corporate level, would
and
you do the same on a corporate level?
mhm.
How you would take just another type of assessment on a corporate level?
And just to see where you need to be. I mean, people need to know what. I think on the corporate, I would probably more on the um, holidays. I'll also do that in the church as well because we all need to know how to talk to each other and the reason we are. You got to know the people that you're in the church with. So I would do that in a corporate setting. Now, the spiritual gift assessment is really for like church and like people who want to know what God has called them to do. I don't know if specifically if that will work in the corporate area.
Right. Yeah. And Pastor Brooks, I guess, or Reverend Brooks, perhaps. I think that is correct as far as
Mm-hmm.
church people being in the right place. You don't want to usher at the door that is not gifted at dealing with people. I'd imagine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let us go to the next question we have. Um, okay. Noticing the degrees, you have several degrees. Which one do you identify with the most? The life coach, I think I heard you say. And what is your approach or style?
I focus on the life coach because I started in the seminary and that's where I started in pastoral counseling. And once I took that, I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. I want to do more. I want to do that. So then I went into the life coaching. So I focus more on the life coaching. The Master of Arts in Pastoral Counseling, I focus on if I'm here doing anything in the church as far as pastoral counseling or teaching pastoral counseling. My approach to style to is transformational. So I give you clarity. I focus on, like I said before, that's what I do on the assessments. Focus on the clarity, build confidence that you can do what you need to do, and that way you're be active in it, and that'll cause action. So that's what my approach and style is, and I focus more on the coaching.
Okay. All right. And all right. The fourth thing we'll ask you if who could benefit of connecting with a life coach, stay at home moms, married couples, for an example, divorcees, who can benefit? Um, is that background? Are you at church?
Oh, you do you hear in the back in the thing?
Yes, I know for
I
some.
am.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Well, you can talk over it. You okay? Let's talk over it. So where do you connect at the
okay.
mhm.
Okay, everybody benefits from coaching as long as you are not coming for any mental health issues, we all, everyone can benefit from coaching. It just depends on if where you want to go in life, want to do. If you a stay at home mom and you want to start getting an education, just start doing something different and major in your life, then you will benefit from a coach, because that's what we do. We take you from where you are to get where you're going. Married couples will benefit from a coach. What I think will benefit more from a coach that provides marital coaching, relationship coaching. Divorcees would also benefit from that. The widows and widowers will benefit more too from a counselor or a
Could,
therapist, because then we're talking about grief, and it
okay,
really
can I
depends
pause you for a second?
on.
I'm sorry. Could you go back to the
Mhm.
married couples in each one of those? Could you give a slight example of um how you would, just an example of how, so for as married couples, what is it that married couples would need coaching with, for an example?
Communication.
Okay.
Communication is very important, because sometimes um, married couples, they will listen to respond, but not listen to hear and understand. So most of the time, that's where you have the disconnect in the communication, and
Okay.
that will be very important for them.
Hmm.
Um, Divorcees now, they will benefit because they've lost something. They've lost the person that they've been with for a certain amount of time, and it caused from losing a husband, losing a wife in a divorce. So they would benefit from that as well. So they would want to know how to move forward from and let go of the marriage, because some people like to hold on to it.
Hmm.
So, and now children and youth, if you're trying to get to a place where you want to get the children and youth get an education, or now what you want to, you would probably benefit from a coach.
Okay. All right. And let's see, what we're gonna do, Latoya, we're gonna take about another one more question. And what we'll do is come back, because I want to work
Mhm.
on feedback and the delay that we're getting. So let us take let me see what would be the best question here for us.
Mhm.
Uh let's see. Okay. Finances can be a major factor in people not getting the help they need. What are the options they could look into? Health insurance. Okay. So we can, did you get that? Man,
Well, okay, so many no, I got it. I heard the many insurance companies do provide coverage for mental health, like such as counselors and therapists. Now, life coaches, of course, wouldn't be paid for by your insurance, unless, of course, it's a mental health coach, um, because um, then you could also use, like the South Carolina has the Carolina Department of Mental Health, and they provide a full range of community and inpatient services to children, citizens of all ages who have emotional or psychiatric problems. You can also go to your local church. Maybe they provide mental health coaching. Maybe they have a counseling department, pastoral or otherwise, and that maybe they can refer you to a counselor or and they also have the Love Land Foundation, and they lack um, be able to get therapy sessions. So
okay.
those are some ways. And also, if you have Medicare, Medicaid, they pay for counseling, therapy, and mental health coaching.
Okay. Okay. All right. Listen, I first want to apologize. I didn't realize we had this great delay in here. Um, I did realize, but I didn't know it was. It was. I thought it would work its way out. But anyway, I want to apologize to you, and to our audience. And we're gonna, if you don't mind, definitely bring you back in the very near future. Um, and I'm going to ask if there's any
Mm-hmm.
closing remarks that you would have, and also how we can get in contact with you.
Okay. There's no problem about and thing have I actually enjoyed myself. Um, my remarks are this: if you need help, get help. Don't be so conscious of what people are going to think, how people may feel about it, but just go ahead and seek the help that you need. Because the only thing really you need to be concerned about is your mental well-being. And hey, you have a purpose and you have a reason to be here. So just get the help you need. And if you need a life coach, you can get in touch with me at 864-396-8485. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I'm also on a number of great listing networks such as Life Coach Network, Christian Care Connect, and the like. So if you want to get in touch with me, we at Majestic Talks will be happy to have you, as we do believe that a better you promotes a better tomorrow. And thank you, Dr. White, for having me here.
Oh, thank you again. And there it is. There, Majestic Talks, Majestic Talks. Um, all things Majestic Talks, pretty much. Instagram, Facebook, and or you can just look up uh, Latoya. Latoya Morgan. Thank you again, Latoya, and we'll be in touch with you very soon. We're definitely going to probably need you as the winter comes in and as this COVID-19 probably increases. And so we appreciate you. And may God bless you, and we'll be in touch with you. All right. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Again, we apologize for the bad connection there. We strive for excellence in everything that we do. And even though we're on a shoestring budget, we try to bring you the best we can from the little town of Sherrall. But we thank you for your support. Thank you for those of you that were hanging in there, even with the delay. And next week, we are going to take a break, and we're going to have actually um, sports talk. And so, all the ladies that think you know a little something, something about sports, particularly the NBA, since the playoffs are going. And this is pretty much what Miss Morgan was talking about, compressing or decompressing our minds, getting away from the news for a minute and just have some fun. I have a I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The actual guy on ESPN, Smith. I have a Smith, and I have another guy that love to go at it with each other on the talk show. So if on the sports talk. So if you are around Tuesday, after that, we're going to be jumping in knee deep into what we need to do to get registered and get ready to vote and vote early. We're going to be voting in October. So we're going to have a few um, um, House of Representative candidates come on. We're going to have some senators that's running coming on as well. So we want to be able to ask them some valid questions as it concern our lives, and we also going to have some youth programs directors coming on also in the coming weeks. So till then, we'll see you then. May God bless your week. Hopefully you'll tune back in on Thursday. I don't know much about the NBA. All right. Oh man, I was beginning to like you, Miss Reverend Brooks. I really was. I'm a Gamecock, but we'll accept all Tigers too. So we appreciate you. Thank you for listening and tuning in today. We'll see those of you on Thursday for Bible study on the same network. God bless you and have a great week, great rest of the week.